I'm a tiny taggart in a brave new world, gonna free this town. If you didn't know about me already, well, you know it now.
This is Objectivist News in January with your host, Objectivist Girl. Hi, and welcome to the news. This month we've had some really interesting things happen. The Bitcoin CEO, Charlie Shrem, was arrested. We heard the State of the Union. Martin Luther King Day came about. And the Objectivist Standard did a really interesting article on the horse-drawn carriages getting banned in New York. So we're going to talk about all of those. And we're going to start with the Bitcoin CEO. So Charlie Shrem got arrested for helping the Silk Road launder $1 million. So Shrem is in trouble for buying drugs on the Silk Road as well. So the first problem with this from an objectivist standpoint is that these are products that one man obtained and was selling them. The government has no ability or authority than the average citizen. They are simply average citizens that have been given the authority to govern other people. So why do we allow average citizens to have more power than other average citizens? And that's what you really got to ask yourself here in this situation. And a lot of situations is, why do certain individuals get more power than other individuals because of a title that is bestowed on them by individuals that think that they're incapable of governing themselves? So this is a flawed logical system, and we're going to talk further about logic and how to reason through things because I'm going to be doing some videos on debate. So the second problem with this is, if someone's willing to accept rocks from my backyard as currency, there's really no problem with this. The only reason the government is upset about it is because they can't collect taxes off of it. So they don't like Bitcoin because Bitcoin is a currency that they are incapable of taxing. And I say that this is perfectly acceptable. People should be able to take the risk that is involved with Bitcoin or rocks or whatever, because it's based on supply and demand, just like everything else. And if people stop demanding Bitcoin, then it's going to drop, and then they're going to wish they used US currency or something else. And so you can either have the security of a state-backed currency and pay taxes, or you can go ahead and take the risk. So I think that there's no reason we shouldn't allow both to happen. So that is my take on the situation, and that's the objectivist standpoint. So the second thing that happened this month that was really interesting was the State of the Union. Wow, this was the worst speech ever. So for anyone that watched this, I'm sorry. I'm about to make this worse for you because I'm going to talk about the 5 worst things that Obama said during this horrible speech. So, number 5. And for the first time in over a decade, business leaders around the world have declared that China is no longer the world's #1 place to invest. America is. Obama, I have no idea what businesses you are talking about, but China has said that they don't even want our money. Our businesses are so bad that nobody even wants our money. And that says a lot about our currency as well. So Obama is blatantly lying in this statement. Any good businessman is going to think of himself first if he wants to keep himself alive and do what he loves doing, which is the reason he started the business. If the reason to start the business and the outcomes are different, then no one is going to want to start a business anymore. If Obama wants this statement that he made to be true, he needs to let up on the restrictions and taxing of businesses so that they want to start and stay in business in the US. Otherwise, there will be no business here at all. But I don't see this happening, so at least not in his presidency. Number 4. That's why I believe this can be a breakthrough year for America. After 5 years of grit and determined effort, the United States is better positioned for the 21st century than any other nation on earth. Yeah, because this picture is not true. I don't think I even need to say anything else here. I'm going to show you the picture again. Send that to Obama, please. Number 3. When the differences shut down America or threaten the full faith and credit of the United States, then we are not doing right by the American people. This is saying that we should blindly trust the government. I don't know if you caught that, but that's what that's saying. And not question what they do. When we get in their way and question whether the government should put innocent people in jail, tax the crap out of our businesses, and spy on our citizens, yes, we are the bad people. How dare we think? How dare we question? Full faith and credit? You are a bunch of fallible human beings that make mistakes, and your citizens are calling you out on it. If you trust everything the government does, you're not living your life, but letting them live it for you. I don't care what political position you take. There's no one that should think that this is a good statement. Number 2. We can still do more to invest in this country's future while bringing down our deficit in a balanced way. Somebody needs to go back to math class. Math was not exactly my strong suit, but I'll tell you that I am smart enough and good enough at math to know that these two don't work together. I know Obama says some dumb things, but there is no way that he believes this statement, and neither should you. Number 1, and what I believe unites the people of the nation, regardless of race or religion or party, young or old, rich or poor, is the simple, profound belief in opportunity for all. The notion that if you work hard and take responsibility, you can get ahead. This is by far the worst thing that he said, because Obama has done everything in his power to make it more difficult for the American person to work or start a business. The fact that he would say this is an insult to your intelligence. That is why it's listed as number 1. Basically, what Obama is saying is, I want you to climb up this hill over here, and I'm going to chuck big boulders down at you. But I want you to keep climbing because it's the best thing for you. But I'm going to do everything in my power to try and prevent you from getting up this hill. He's taking the little money that you earn right from your pocket, and he's saying that you need to work harder. That is time and energy that you'll never get back. So the next thing that happened this month was Martin Luther King Day. So Martin Luther King Day is something that I like to celebrate. This is a man who understood that we can create peace and love among people without violence. I have a great deal of respect for his message. At the Free State Project, we talk a lot about the non-aggression principle, and so does Rand. Whatever may be open to disagreement, there is one act of evil that may not, the act that no man may commit against others, and no man may sanction or forgive. So long as man desires to live together, no man may initiate, do you hear me? No man may start the use of physical force against others. I love this quote from Ayn Rand because it really sums up the NAP, the non-aggression principle. To interpose the threat of physical destruction between man and his perceptions of reality is to negate and paralyze his means of survival. To force him to act against his own judgment is like forcing him to act against his own sight. Whoever, to whatever purpose or extent, initiates the use of force is a killer acting on the premise of death in a manner wider than murder, the premise of destroying the man's capacity to live. It is so important that we honor people that fought aggression with patience and ideas instead of picking up a gun. No, I am not against gun rights. Don't misunderstand me. But if you can take care of something without using physical force, it is always preferable. So I think that it's important that we keep up the tradition of honoring Martin Luther King every January. So the final thing that happened this month that I'm going to talk about is the assault on the horse-drawn carriages by Mayor Blasio. So in New York, they've decided that they're going to start trying to ban horse-drawn carriages. There is a lot of problems with this. First, I'm going to give you the quote from the newspaper. So New York's new mayor, Bill Blasio, did not wait to assume his office before brandishing the big stick of government force. 2 days before becoming mayor, de Blasio threatened to outlaw horse-drawn carriages in Central Park. For half a century, these carriages have attracted New Yorkers and visitors wishing to enjoy the marvels of the bustling Empire City from a charming pastoral perspective. First of all, these people who drive the carriages have been doing this for years. This is putting them out of their livelihood. This is a completely unfair ban. Next, the pretext for the ban is that using horses in this manner abuses them, as they must breathe exhaust fumes and risk being struck by automobiles. But this is nonsense. First, horses don't have rights. Their owners do. Second, the horses are exposed to no more risk than the carriage drivers and the passengers, or, for that matter, pedestrians in Manhattan. Lastly, this brings in revenue for the city. This is doing a disservice to the government money, and I seriously doubt that they're going to cut taxes, so the burden will go to the poor citizens of New York. So that is why banning horse-drawn carriages in New York is a bad idea. So I hope you enjoyed my video. Thanks for checking it out. And there's links below to my Facebook, Twitter, and blog, and to the Free State Project, so make sure you sign up so you can come out here and hang out with all of us. There's also a link to my song Shrug, so you can check that out. And remember, guys, knowledge is not for all men, but for those who seek it. So keep seeking!